Alright, and we are back. It is October 28th. Chapter is called The Running Girl. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away that easily. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with talk of exercising as well. Excuse me. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with the gym outfit. I had to order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. Can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way. A bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog, just like he's oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health, and his prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get this out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get into shape was a mere happy coincidence. I'd leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Okay. Good morning. Your name is Hisao, right? She grins, seemingly pleased that she'd remembered my name. You may not remember me. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hallway yesterday? Missy Barazaki! She imitates Misha's imitating Shizune, failing to get the same kind of subdued lilt into her high-pitched voice. How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has a decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that, again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose it'll be fine. Great! I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right! Huh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What? Are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? No, this is more of a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kinda lost around the track. So, why are you down here? Emmy strikes a dramatic pose. Training! For what? Track! Ah, I see. You're on the track team then. Emmy nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the best runners too. And modest about it too. Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know. I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. Nah, I'm not even sure I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know? It's true. I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all. That was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not into that whole organization thing.
But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh?
What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased.
Are you going to warm up?
Real men don't warm up.
Oh, you should always warm up. Bad, Hisao.
She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer.
I hate warming up too.
She laughs suddenly.
Heck, I don't even have to stretch my legs.
As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic.
Let's go!
So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread, right? And something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heels. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple laps today, so I slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor.
Finished already?
I hang my head ruefully. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling.
Well, the important thing is that you started, right? Next time you'll just have to try to hold out longer, and then longer, and longer, and eventually you'll be great.
I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm going to go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly.
Nah, I got plenty of time.
I notice that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug.
Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hisao.
Yeah, see ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. And like Emmy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice at least to feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind. But I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog.
Ah! Sup?
What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem?
I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man.
What do you mean all over the place? I wanted to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but I hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too, and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me. But Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up. But then, why doesn't he just wipe them off? Is his vision so bad that it's like he's perpetually seeing through a fog?
You know, your room, and yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still had to get up this morning. I still had to get up, though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money?
He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, it's somehow even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked. To say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with little success. Money, sure.
Awesome!
Wait, why do you need it?
Nah. Can't you just give it to me because I had a goodwill not to run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I could have, but I exercise restraint. And in the end, isn't that what counts? Come on, be a pal.
This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts were so clearly impure and his intentions are probably even more sinister since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him.
I'm offended, man. But if that's your game, then fine. I guess I have no other choice. I wanted to order a pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I just need your help for the rest.
I get some pizza too then, right?
No!
Are you serious?
Yes. I would give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat a pizza.
What about you?
I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and then pay the guy, and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and then they'll ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everybody wants a piece. Then you're left with pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know. Every day I plan my vengeance, so that when people who wronged me order a pizza, I will be there, ever vigilant.
Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony.
But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please. You're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something. Maybe. Wondering how I got there. And then out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky. Like how you split a sandwich in 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking experience of my life.
What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me.
It was like in the openings of some kind of anime show. You know, where how there's always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival, and they fly at each other and clash swords, and it's like a big dramatic colored auras and zoom. It was like that, but with poop.
Okay.
So yeah, I need some money, please. Don't leave me hanging, man. I only need like 1,000 yen.
I thought it was 400.
Okay.
What?
I'll pay you back, I swear.
You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff.
I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back.
You have 1 week.
Ah!
Kenji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow, a particularly disturbing fact given that his baton is conducting freely.
You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brothers in arms, man. Men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know it takes a male porn star only make half as much as female porn stars make?
That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star.
So maybe I'm a porn star on the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda. You can't even spot me or crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody.
Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? The feminist agenda stuff again?
That stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit. But this is serious here. Feminists are a more dangerous enemy, make no mistakes. You take them lightly, and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere.
How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep?
Women are terrible at stabbing things.
I thought you just said don't take them lightly.
Well, I mean don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and feminist forces on the other side, it'd be pretty ugly. And that day will come when the feminists come out of their central top-secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers!" And that day will come.
Oh, you're being ridiculous. There is no big worldwide feminist headquarter building where they would where would they even hide that? I mean, it'd be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with only women on it.
Who said it was on Earth?
I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. He can't see me from this distance anyway. Which, unfortunately, means he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility.
Yeah, there's a war going on, a war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then, we'll have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it, the bloody battlefield, a vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up. When I thought this cause was silly, when I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight, when I mistook the time the power went out for the feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized if I gave up, it would all be over, and I was like, whoa! And I knew I had to get serious. Because I'm the last sane man in an insane world. It's about duty.
Must be a pretty crappy movement if it all hinges on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom to another naked guy.
So I can have the money?
He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked, and I want to go back to class, so I agree to spot him the money.
Awesome, thanks, dude. We should go bowling later on.
He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold. Oh, I keep hitting that button. Bowling?
Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women boulders either, making it also the manliest sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt that matches my shoes, or the pastel green with the flower accents?
There are bowling clothes?
Maybe.
Anyway, you'd better pay me back.
I can pay you back in stuff, right?
I don't have time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't want to hold you up. I have stuff to do myself. The time has come.
Time for what?
I just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come.
For what?
I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it.
I was just going to. What does that mean? It's a big bathroom.
So, I have to be alone or I can't go. The pressure.
Okay. What if someone else comes in?
I'll think of something.
I give him my practiced frown, and it looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see. Anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. Oh man, Kenji's voice sucks. That is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. But right now, I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good a reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear tapping noise outside the hallway and see Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was of importance to look prim when entering our classroom.
Excuse me.
She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily.
Hisao? Good morning. I didn't hear you come in.
I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now.
Oh, have you seen Hanako today by any chance?
No, she seems to come in only just before the bell rings, or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you?
No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here.
I shouldn't have gotten up so early, I guess.
You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing. I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today. Hi!
Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch.
Hi, Hik-chan!
Hey.
Look, it's class representative. Hello!
Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's or Shizune's use of the word look.
Good morning. Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right? Right?
I'm not. Lily seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along very well. Then I realize Lily might actually not know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is, to know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha. But knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune.
You were here even earlier than us.
Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing the tone to gauge intent. Before I could start weighing whether or not to apologize, Shizune has already moved on.
Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days. Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events, even the first years, except you. There's still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today. Deadline is today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say, the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is no small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing funds for one class's event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me.
Misha put her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she is really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little hard on her? There's still one whole day left.
Please, Hisao. It is all right.
Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself.
If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you'd think I'd forgotten about it. I understand how important this is. Then, can I have it, please?
Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second.
It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class.
She emphasizes the last sentence much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better.
It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away as a class rep. It's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is just really terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so. But the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will go apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay.
Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge.
Lily, they don't live here at school. Don't they live here at school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class?
Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal.
And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of the 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself.
One form isn't the full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither see nor hear. hear nor see how excited she is.
Of course you do, class rep. It must be so difficult being you.
Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without a hint of sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other, that much is clear. But this seems a little much. It seems like Lily's had enough and is ready to push back.
I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That'd be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent.
The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha is looking like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation.
Heek-chan, don't you slack off either.
What are you talking about?
Aren't you taking part in the festival, Heek-chan? You are, aren't you? Then, I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person.
I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Let's not take sides. Why am I being dragged into this again? I've done more than enough, I think. If you're angry with Lily, it has nothing to do with me.
Now, wait just a second. Are you implying the president is more right in scolding me than yourself?
I just got here! Ah, damn. I think I could have worded that better. No, I don't know about that, but, I mean...
What are you saying, Heek-chan?
It's just that I hardly think it's fair that you can say that, seeing that I've helped you guys. The mood has changed. This is like a showdown between two gunfighters now. Well, it was like that before too, but this time Shizune's focus is on me. And so is Lily, though. She keeps quiet. I'm afraid I inadvertently pissed her off.
Are you saying I'm wrong?
What a dangerous situation. It's too early to argue with you. Yes, I think it's unfair of you to get on my case.
Heek-chan, you want too much. But you have a point. Okay. You're not lazy, Heek-chan.
Shizune pushes her glasses with her thumb, almost approvingly.
That's good. If you're not useless, then you shouldn't let anyone say you are. But the next time I say it, it'll really be because you're disappointing me like Miss Class Rep here, so don't go letting this go to your head.
Lily takes the jab silently, a venomous visage frozen on her face.
Class Rep, Sheik-chan says, don't forget that report, please.
I won't. Would that be all?
Yep.
Then, good day to all. Her voice would cut the air of the classroom in half if it were more tangible. Lily leaves the room, understandably in a bad mood, but still managing to be as poised and calm as ever. Shizune, did you really have to... You really did go a little too far today.
It's true, Sheik-chan, just a little.
If I had been expecting Shizune to grudgingly admit I have a point there as well, I think I was expecting too much. She doesn't respond.
Sheik-chan thinks you should mind your own business. Hik-chan, we have a few last-minute things to take care of before class. We might be late, so can you please cover for us?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yay. Okay. Thanks, Hik-chan.
They walk outside, even though there are only 10 minutes left before the bell will ring, signaling the start of class. Hanako doesn't come to morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. We've been covering the same amount of pages for each day, so reading ahead is more or less giving myself a preview of what tomorrow's lesson will be about. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud.
Oh, excuse me.
The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on the blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down equations just to pass the time, not noticing Misha's head poking over my shoulder until she's almost on top of me. What are you doing? I try to strike a balance between being quiet enough not to draw attention to myself, but loud enough to draw hers.
What are you doing, Hik-chan?
Panic shoots through me as Misha starts talking at her normal volume, and I sputter out a hasty reply, still keeping my voice down despite the fact that she just blew any hope of being discreet I may have had. I'm copying down that stuff. What are you doing? Why so loud?
Aw, really? But it's all in the book. That's why no one else is copying it down.
I know. Why are you so loud?
Why are you so quiet, Hik-chan? It's hard to hear you.
I look around to see if anyone is noticing our conversation. It's pretty obvious that everyone has, even the teacher. Shizune smiles coyly, and I start to wonder if Misha's doing this because she told her to. Is it because of what happened between her and Lily earlier? This is what I get for trying to be reasonable, for trying to take the middle path. Shizune is way too prideful, although by now I should know to expect this kind of behavior from her. Why are you doing this? Huh? Misha is totally oblivious to the awkward stare the teacher is giving both of us, while trying to balance her textbook on one finger. For a brief second it looks as if things could get ugly, but the teacher simply looks away, as if it's not worth the trouble. I guess this is a good thing, and I slump back in my seat in relief. The rest of the day passes uneventfully, and this time I'm able to appreciate that it does. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune's signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business, probably way over my head. Not just that, but Shizune also seems angry, although it could just be her normal severity making it appear so. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished and the girls sit down on their seats again.
I'm so tired.
She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after class, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune starts signing at me and Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic tones. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha.
Well, we're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy.
Sarcasm? Huh? The tone of Shizune's actions make me think she is speaking with disdain, but Misha interprets it normally, replacing whatever intent may be there with her own chipper twist on things. It's still disorienting. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. Never mind.
How could I forget, with you two trying to get me to join at least twice a day? But Hik-chan, some could say the work is too much. It'd be nice if students were to show a little more support for their leadership. Some appreciation to the ones who are working so hard to make it all possible. Maybe, for example, a little help. That's asking too much, is it? Yep, help would be appreciated from students like you. If students would show their dedication and school spirit and offer some help, well, I don't exactly need it. But I wouldn't necessarily refuse it. So, it would be nice if someone would... Oh, hello.
I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door.
Hey, playing delinquent again?
Hanako blushes hard as Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. They seem to have momentarily forgotten about trying to get me to stay for the rest of the day. What is it, Hanako?
Has Lily been here? Sorry, Satao is not here. She's, came by in the morning, though.
Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little funny, though, watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on her festival project. But who knows where that woman is loitering at? She might be slacking off somewhere, just like Heek-chan.
Damn, what is it with Shizune and her need to point out stuff like this? Hanako nods quickly and retreats with haste.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're working really hard to make the festival happen.
And driving other people insane along the way. Well, good luck with that. I stand up to leave, making my exit before either of them manages to berate me anymore for slacking off. The halls are somewhat quiet, as expected. Everyone must be in club meetings or at festival preparations, or both. Shizune's words about being a slacker echo in my head. I feel a bit guilty about not contributing, but I seem to lack the resolve to do something concrete about the matter. For the festival, it's too late already unless I count helping Shizune and Misha, which naturally I don't. And clubs, I don't know. Maybe I'm not the club type of person. Halfway through the way from the school building to the dorms, I spot a figure in front of the dorms. It's Rin. Oh, Rin. And it looks like she's working on her mural today, too. I walk over to her, but she doesn't seem to notice me approaching. She's sitting on an upturned box, looking intently at the wall she is painting with a brush held between her toes. The mural has progressed considerably since yesterday, but it's still only half done as far as I can tell. More colors have appeared, and the twisted human-like figures have spread and increased in number. I have to say, the style is quite eye-catching and very unique. Not that I would be knowledgeable about art by any means, by any measurable scale, but it's very nice-looking nevertheless. I clear my throat to get her attention, but not startle her so that her concentration will break.
Wait.
She hasn't even turned to check who it is. I'll wait. "15 minutes later, I decide that her concentration is indeed unbroken, and also that I have waited long enough to warrant poking her gently on the shoulder to remind her of my presence. Ren turns her head mechanically to my direction, and ended up staring at my crotch level.
Oh, it's his sow.
She can tell. I would feel a lot less uncomfortable if she would look at my face. An astute observation. Hard at work, I see. The conversation starts as if I hadn't been there for a quarter of an hour already, but it's not a concern. At least it starts. Looking good. It does. The layers of paint hiding other layers of paint, mixing and shaping the human figures, really create an impressive look. But Rin looks miffed.
You shouldn't comment on works in progress. 7 years of bad luck.
Sounds terrible. I guess I'll take it back then. Still, it looks good. I wonder if I get 14 years of bad luck for thinking that. Rin turns back to look at her painting and pokes it with a big toe.
Could you mix some of the color? I'm running out of it.
She looks down at a half-empty bowl with the remains of the same pinkish paint in it. I didn't really intend to stay and help her with this project, though. I guess I didn't intend to do anything much. I look at Ren. She looks emptily back at me. Just this once. Ren picks up another brush and drenches it in another tone of pale red. There are dozens of similar bowls all around her working area. From the looks of the scene, she could have been sitting there for hours. I wonder if she has. That would mean she'd been skipping school though, which of course I wouldn't put past someone like Ren. I pour a little bit of white and red into a bowl, trying to match the color with the one already on the wall. I can't seem to get it right. It's really convenient of her not to mix enough in the first place. Getting it to be exactly the same tone will be impossible, but at least I can try to get it as close as I can. Speaking of hard work, isn't this a huge workload for you? I mean, it's such a big painting and all.
Oh, I'm not old and bitter enough to think like that yet.
I guess you aren't.
You guessed right. Legs hurt though. Feel like slugs. Slugs made of sea slugs.
Because of the position?
Yeah, I like doing it in the horizontal position more, if you know what I'm talking about. But it can't be helped. Can't ask the wall to lie down.
Saying that, she stretches herself a little, bending her legs back far more than any human should flex. It's astonishing how effortlessly she manages her body around. There's a small flinch in her otherwise blank expression, a hint of pain maybe, as she stretches out her calves. Ren must have stamina and dexterity far above a normal person to be able to live like she does, but she's wearing out working on this. Why do you push yourself so much? Take a break or something at least. Continue tomorrow if it's bad. This gives her pause. A long one too, feeling like a mental yawn.
I don't think so, Hisao. I'm not pushing myself.
You sure look like you are.
No, it's not about pushing or pulling or any of that kind of thing. There is this boy.
A boy?
Yeah.
Where?
At the art club.
And?
He's blind.
Oh, how can you paint if you're blind?
No idea.
So why is he there?
That's the point. He's there.
She really should speak more than one word at a time to make this feel like more of a discussion and less like an interrogation.
He can't really do anything you'd call art, right? But he comes there anyway and paints. Why?
I don't know why.
I don't know. That's why I asked.
So?
He doesn't paint often, but I think his paintings are very interesting.
I'm sure they are.
I once tried that, painting with my eyes closed. Wasn't too interesting, and cleaning up the floor took ages. Didn't try again. But he's becoming better at sculpting.
I see. Maybe she was trying to make a point with this. Maybe she forgot she had one. It seems like the art club is full of interesting people.
Not really.
Pretty blunt statement. She totally missed the sarcasm. No?
Just like I said, they're not very interesting. I usually don't have much interest in people who aren't that interesting. Maybe you have.
Maybe.
But that boy is interesting. Maybe I am like that boy, or maybe you are. Maybe everyone is. Doing things you can't do just because you can.
That's pretty deep, I think, and I tell her. You're a deep one.
Nah, I'm really shallow and thoughtless person. People say that to me all the time. Did you know I can only think of 4 things at the same time?
No, but I do now.
Right now I'm thinking of the second floor girls' toilet, ice cream flavored ice cream, the middle toe, and a haircut. I'm going to need a haircut.
She shakes her head around vigorously, letting her short and messy hair ruffle wildly around. I can see that doing it is something she likes to do. We fall silent as Rin treads around absent-mindedly, poking some brushes around. The thought about the art club sticks in my head for a while longer. I feel like I'm treading on very unknown territory with art. The way these meetings with Rin go, it's as though I'm starting a smoking habit or something. I should probably stop talking with her. It's not that I dislike her, despite the confusion her being herself causes. And I don't dislike art either. I even draw for fun sometimes. I just don't have a real creative drive or any technical skills. So usually if I were to draw something, I would get white paper syndrome and just freeze immediately. That, or I manage to draw something disfigured and promptly get frustrated at my inability to put the picture in my head down on the paper, then call it quits without really even trying to make an effort. Oh, crumb. Rin clearly doesn't have this problem, but she frustrates me in another way. Being with her is like looking into a mirror that doesn't reflect anything. It makes one question the sanity of the act. Rin sits down in her box, swaying from side to side, apparently comfortable with the uncomfortable silence. She is staring at me again, or maybe over my shoulder. I can't quite figure out where her eyes are focused. Thinking of leaving so she can carry on working undistracted, and that I can do whatever I'm going to do alone. It's not like I have anything that must be done today. No, shoot. Who? Nobody. I just forgot to tell Hanako that Lily was looking for her. Do you know her? From my class?
Oh, her. The mystery toilet girl. That person is funny. I saw her going to the toilet 5 times during one recess 3 weeks ago. I'm sure it's the world record. It was very mysterious.
And that's why you call her Mystery Toilet Girl?
What other reason could there possibly be? Well, if there is, it's an eternal mystery, and I didn't follow her in there. Maybe it was the week before that. It could have been. Looking at her makes me hungry.
Don't say that. At least not around her. Rin turns to look at me blankly if she's not sure why I reproved her. She doesn't acknowledge understanding any more than before, so I give up at this point. So, do you want to go eat dinner then?
No, not yet.
Rin has turned her hungry gaze back to the wall, looking slightly more energetic, or at least slightly less lethargic than she did before. It's as if the wall is an opponent she has to vanquish, something she must overcome before she can indulge in dinner. This is the feeling I get. A weird sense of empathy overcomes me and makes me smile a little to myself. For all her oddity, Rin is pretty cool after all. I'll be going anyway. Have fun. Rin has already grasped a brush and is dipping it into the fresh paint, so of course she can't hear me. She can't hear me anymore or doesn't answer anything even if she does. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Yay, hearts. Alright, so that's another day. Next we load up exercise. Alright, that was 40 minutes. It's good enough for one video.